Preparing for retirement is one of the largest financial tasks facing households. Fortunately, there are a number of very helpful types of retirement plans that can be used to help households reach their retirement goals. The benefits, rules, and restrictions of retirement plans are the topics for this lecture. All retirement plans are classified as either defined benefit or defined contribution plans. Defined benefit plans are more commonly called pensions. Defined benefit plans are plans in which the employee doesn't have to contribute any of their own money. Rather, the employer guarantees to provide the employee with a specified benefit at retirement. The employer makes all investment decisions to make sure they have the funds to meet their guarantee. The only thing the employee needs to do is to make sure they are vested. Vesting refers to the right of the employee to take full possession of the funds that the employer has set aside for the employee's retirement if the employee is dismissed, resigns, or retires. So, for example, if you are 50% vested, then you will get to keep 50% of the pension funds your employer has contributed for you when you leave the company. Vesting structures typically take one of two forms. The cliff form gives full vesting at a specific period of time. This type of vesting structure might say, the employee is fully vested within 3 years of employment. The other vesting structure is called a graduated system. Under a graduated system, the level of vesting the employee has rises from 0 to 100% over time. Before you leave a company, make sure you know what your vesting status is so that you know how much of your pension you can take with you when you leave. Defined contribution plans are plans where the employee makes their own contributions. The most common defined contribution plans are called 401ks, 403bs, or 457 plans. Employer contributions to these plans are made pre-tax, meaning that the employer has to pay less taxes if they contribute to their plan. The earnings also grow tax deferred, meaning that no taxes are due before the funds are withdrawn from the plan. Employers often, but not always, make contributions to the plan in the form of a contribution match. They may match 50% of the amount of your contribution up to 6% of your salary. This means that for the first 6% of your gross income that you contribute to your plan, your employer will also contribute half of the amount that you contributed, or the contribution may be 100% up to 3%. This means that for the first 3% of your income you contribute, the employer will also contribute the same amount. The funds that the employer deposits for you into the plan are also subject to vesting rules, just as with pensions. The investment vehicles and investment allocation decisions are all made by the employee. Because of the tax advantages of these plans, the government places limits on the amounts that you may contribute each year based upon your income level. Up-to-date information on the contribution limits can be found through the links on the course website. You can also have a tax-advantaged retirement plan that is not connected to your employer. These plans are called IRAs, or individual retirement accounts or arrangements. A traditional IRA is taxed exactly the same as a 401k. Deposits are made pre-tax and grow tax deferred. A Roth IRA is taxed in the opposite manner as traditional IRAs. In a Roth IRA, you have to pay taxes before you contribute your money. However, this lets your money grow tax-free and no taxes are required when you withdraw the funds. An IRA plan can be set up for any person regardless of the employment status. Since this is a personal investment, all investment vehicles and allocation decisions are made by the owner of the fund. IRAs also have annual contribution limits which you will need to be aware of. Traditional IRAs and 401ks have rules regarding how you withdraw the money. The first rule is that you must begin making distributions before age 70 and a half. You also cannot withdraw the money before age 59 and a half without paying a 10% tax penalty. The most common exceptions to this early withdrawal penalty is if you use the money for qualified education expenses for yourself, your spouse, your children, or your grandchildren, or if you use the money to purchase a first home. If you take early distributions, you will have to pay income taxes on the money you withdraw, whether or not you have to pay the 10% penalty. A Roth IRA has no restrictions on when you must withdraw the money, but there are rules about how early you can withdraw the money. If the funds have been in the account for at least 5 years and you have a qualified reason for the withdrawal, then you do not have to pay any taxes or penalty to withdraw the money. If you do not meet these criteria, then you will have to pay taxes on the withdrawal and may even face a penalty. Keep in mind that tax laws change all the time, and the rules for retirement plans change just as often. Always be sure to check for changes in the rules and restrictions of retirement plans. If you have the option to contribute to a 401k and claim an employer match, then you should almost always do so. If you do not, you are throwing away free money. Let's look at an example of how this works. Suppose your salary is $50,000 per year, and your employer will match 100% up to 6% of your income. If you do not contribute to the 401k, then you do not receive matching contributions and have earned no free money. If you contribute just 2% of your income, then you have contributed $1,000 to your 401k. Your employer will match that $1,000, 100%, resulting in $1,000 in free money that your employer has provided. If you contribute the full 6% of the match, then you contribute $3,000 and your employer matches that 100%, providing $3,000 in free money. If you have chosen to not contribute to your 401k, you would have left $3,000 in free money unclaimed. So contribute at least up to the maximum that your employer will match so that you can get all the free money you can. This slide shows the order in which you should contribute to your various retirement plans. The first place you should invest is in your 401k plan, assuming that you can get a match. Contribute to the 401k only up to the amount that your employer will match. After that, put your funds in a Roth IRA. If you have more money after that, you can go back to your 401k. If you have even more beyond that, or if you are not satisfied with the investment options in your 401k, then you should contribute to a traditional IRA. Only after you have run out of tax-advantaged plans should you consider using normal taxable investments. The last option you should consider is using pre-retirement annuities or life insurance products. What should you do when you retire? There are several options. You should first begin withdrawing money from your 401k or IRA because of the rule that you must start by age 70 and a half. After that, you should start pulling out of your Roth IRA funds. Purchasing an annuity with the funds you have in your account is a great way to protect yourself from outliving your money. Remember that once you retire, your goal changes from accumulating wealth to making your wealth last as long as you live. Lifetime annuities are an efficient way to accomplish this goal. You may also want to consider getting an inflation-adjusted annuity that will increase your payouts each year as prices increase. The guarantee that an annuity provides does not come for free. However, the costs of the annuity are often worth paying because an annuity is one of the only ways to guarantee that you will not outlive your accumulated wealth. Lastly, we are going to talk about how much money you will need to retire. An exact figure can be difficult to determine, but there are 5 basic factors that will affect the amount that you will need. The first is other sources of income. If you can collect from a pension and Social Security, then you will need less money saved in your 401k or IRA. Next is the amount of your income you wish to replace. Retirees generally have reduced expenses because their children have moved out of the house and the house itself is often paid off. Because of this, most retirees need about 30% less income in retirement than they did before they retired in order to maintain the same standard of living. A crucial factor for determining how much money you will need to retire is to know how long you will be retired for. You will be retired from the day you retire to the day you die. Consider your family history and how long your ancestors lived to get an idea of how long you might expect to live. Living longer means you will need more money. Your health in retirement will affect how much money you need because large medical expenses will have to be funded out of your retirement accounts. The last factor is your retirement age. Retiring early will extend how long you will be retired, but it will also affect how much income you get from Social Security and the potential that you have to continue generating some kind of income even after you retire if it becomes necessary. When you are young, it is more important for you to focus on establishing the habit of saving rather than trying to focus in on a specific dollar amount. You can use online retirement calculators to get a ballpark idea of how much money you will need to retire the way you want to. Retirement is often the largest and most complex financial goal of a household. Careful consideration of the investment vehicles and retirement plans that you will use is the best way to make sure you can reach your retirement goals.